The first module in Music 7, Quarter 1, will help you understand how folk songs from the lowlands of Luzon were created. In the first discussion, you need to read and understand first the elements of music. These elements will be used during the listening activities and other activities which involves in music analysis. You need to realize and appreciate how these musical elements mirror the culture of the people and places which define its distinctive qualities and uniqueness. Before we explore the music of Luzon lowlands, let us first recall the different musical elements that you have learned in your previous music lessons. The first element is rhythm. Rhythm is the regular repeated pattern of sounds. It serves as the pulse of the musical composition. This element has three components: beat, tempo, and meter. Do you think you can identify these components in a certain music while listening to it? Have you experienced nodding your head or tapping your foot every time you hear music? If so, you are actually feeling the beat of the music. In singing your favorite videoke tune, you are actually singing the rhythm because of the different note durations of the lyrics of the song. Tempo is the speed of the beat. Every music has its own speed, which depends on the mood of the whole music. Most happy tunes are fast, while sad music is relatively slow. The meter, which composes of time signature, is the combination of strong beats, accents, and weak beats. For example, 4/4 time signature is like counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. This type of meter is commonly used in pop songs. In 3/4 time signature, you just count 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and so on. This is the commonly used in waltz music. For the time signature 2/4, you just count 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and so on. Marches, polkas use this kind of meter. The second element is about the softness and the loudness of the music, the dynamics. This can be gradual, crescendo and decrescendo, or sudden or abrupt. Dynamics in music suggests the musical aspect of the composition. Soft music suggests themes such as love, while loud or strong music suggests bravery or war. The next element is the most obvious among all musical elements, the melody. It is the organized sequence, horizontal, of single notes. In other words, it is the main tune of the musical piece. It is what you hear and what retains in your head. It has two types, the conjunct and the disjunct. Based on the diagram, which of the two do you think you can easily learn to sing, and why? The more singable or playable type is the conjunct. The melody is easy to sing because the notes have no skips or leaps. Try to sing a Filipino folk song and try to analyze the movement of the melody. Does the tune tend to move far from the other, or are the notes just next to one another? The vertical arrangement of the sound in a musical piece is called harmony. It is the simultaneous sounding of two or more notes. The elements can refer to the chords produced, the accompaniment style, and the counter melodies. Harmony has two types, the consonance and the dissonance. Consonant intervals in music are more pleasant and seems like everything is okay. Dissonant interval, on the other hand, produce a more creepy sound. It shows tension and needs to be resolved. Texture is all about the thickness of the sound. In the three diagrams below, the lines represent the melodic movement of a musical piece. For example, in the monophonic texture, only single line can be seen, which means there is only one melody or tune playing. It is like you are singing alone in the bathroom. In the homophonic texture, a single melody is present with an accompaniment of an instrument or several instruments. It's like you are actually singing with a videoke machine. In polyphonic texture, two or more melodic contours or lines are playing simultaneously. It is like you are singing with others in a choir contest. The timbre is the quality of sound heard. If you and your friend sing Bahay Kubo in unison, you can easily distinguish each other's voice based on the quality of the sound of your voices. Now that you have reconstructed your previous knowledge about the different musical elements, you are now ready to explore one of our cultural identities, the Luzon lowland folk songs. Can you recall what song your parents used to sing to you when you were just a child? Or your grandparents' type of music which you used to hear? What can you say about its tune? Is it easy to remember? How about the tempo? Is it hard to follow? What other musical elements are present in their kind of music? Luzon's lowland music is made up of simple vocal and instrumental music, primarily a product of daily experiences from folks like farmers, fishermen, artisans, vendors, and other common people. Family or community members learned this music orally, which they sang in their native tongue. Mostly, the persons who originally made this music were unknown. In this point, I want you to try your best to answer what I know pretest in the page 4 of our module. You can also pause the video while you are answering. In this point, with your intermediate paper or activity notebook, I want you to perform activity number 1 entitled What's New, page 5 of our module. You can also pause the video while you are performing. Depending on the availability of internet in your area, you can also answer activity number 2, page 6 in our module. You can also pause the video while performing the activity. Folk songs in general have the following characteristic. The first one, the lyrics are according to the native tongue. Because songs are based on the daily experiences of the people in a particular place, and the message of the songs needs to be understood easily to be appreciated, the lyrics of the songs are written or sung in their own dialects. For example, the Tagalog folk song came from the people who speak Tagalog. Bahay Kubo, Leron Leron Sinta, and magtanim ay di biro. The Ilocanos have their own manangbiday and pamulinawin. The Kapampangan's atin kupong singsing and the Bicolanos sarong banggi are just a few among the folk songs of Luzon that are sung in their own dialects. Why do you think it is important for a folk song to be sung or written in their native tongue? The second one is that it passed down through oral tradition to family or community members, hence learned by mere memorization. Singing is a form of social bonding among early Filipino families because they do not have access to internet, TV, and radio during that time. Singing folk songs became their favorite pastime. The third one is that it's unknown composers and lyricists. Most composers of Filipino folk songs are unknown because songs are just based on daily experiences and are passed down orally. Next is that simple key signature of the song. Do you know how to play a guitar? If you can play this instrument, you can try to play a simple folk song. While playing, you will notice that it starts with a particular key of G for example, and it ends in that same key. That only shows the simplicity of the Luzon folk songs. Duple, triple, or quadruple are common meters used. These meters were very common during that time. The dances and the common songs are based on these meters. The composers of the folk songs adapted these rhythmic patterns to their compositions. What folk songs do you know? Can you identify the meters used based on the discussion in the review section of this module? Next one is that primarily based on community's culture, tradition, and livelihood. And last one is that short and simple. Aside from Tagalog, several other dialects are used by unknown composers from Luzon in composing their own lowland folk songs such as Ilocano, Kapampangan, Pangasinense, Bicolano. Spanish and other Western influences are very evident in the construction of the songs, such as the meter used and the minor and the major modules. In this point, according to the availability of internet and other resources like gadgets in your area, I want you to perform activity number 3, What's More? Page 13 of our module. You can also pause this video while performing the activity. On a clean sheet of intermediate paper, I want you to answer the assessment on the page 14 of our module. You can also pause this video while answering.